Hello, my name is Keith Thompson. I'm president of Asheville Civitan Club this year. I'd like to invite each and every one of you to join us for the upcoming television series, Spirit of Civitan TV. It's going to be on URTV, and we're going to be covering some of the important issues affecting our community. We're going to be meeting some of the civic leaders who are making a difference every day in the lives of our community, and making things better for our children and grandchildren, making this a better place in which to live. So we hope you will be able to join us and watch our series as it comes forward. Thank you.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to start a little bit early. We have a pretty hectic schedule ahead of us today, so if I can call the meeting of October 13th, 2009 of the Asheville Civitan Club to order. Hold your ear. But I guess you'll just come up and do your 2 minutes and tell us who you are and what you're doing and why you're doing it.
Thank you all for caring about the future of Asheville, the future of America, caring enough to be here. My name is Carl Mumpower. I'm a psychologist by profession. I'm a Christian by active practice. I'm a father. I'm a grandfather. I'm an unapologetic conservative. I'm a real conservative, and that I believe sincerely in being careful with other people's money and most especially our liberties. And I believe the greatest erosion of those liberties is occurring at the local level, not in Raleigh, not in Washington, but right here at home. And it's part of my job to fight that. I was raised in Western North Carolina. I attended Hall Fletcher Junior High, then went to Owen, graduated from Owen, volunteered for the service. This was in 1970, the week I got out of high school. Subsequently volunteered for Vietnam. I didn't volunteer again until 2001. I thought I'd learned my lesson, but evidently not. Ran for city council in 2001, was elected to everyone's surprise because I ran as a conservative, was reelected again to everyone's surprise 4 years later as a conservative. I was elected by the council to serve as vice mayor during one of those terms. I am an authentic conservative watchdog. I am more careful with other people's money, you can ask my wife, than I am my own. And I do that persistently and diligently. I have no obligations to any special interest group, party, power broker, or selfish interest. I am much more concerned with you than I am my own political future. My pleasure to be with you today. Thank you.
How you doing? My name's Larry Holt. I'm a resident of downtown Asheville, and I would like to see a show of hands. How many of you have read the Master Downtown Development Plan? Everybody, all right. Please indicate your willingness or unwillingness to address the amendments and modifications to the existing ordinances that would allow us to implement this plan.
I respectfully disagree with my colleagues for one big reason. Those of you who have lived here for some years have watched one government proposal after the other to make development better. It's been going on for years. Government creates all kinds of rules. It reminds me of trying to fix your plumbing at home. As you fix one thing, you break another. That's exactly what big government does. And we have a choice in America. We can have big government or we can have big people. We cannot have both. I much prefer to err toward big people. Private property rights are, to me, one of the cornerstones of our Constitution. I think we're abandoning those rights left, right, and yonder at the local level. And when we give them up for other people, our day of reckoning is before us, and I think we're going to see that more as time goes on. So I think this really is an exercise in more nonsense. It's going to make government bigger, exert more controls, but it's not going to fix things. It's just going to create new sets of problems. Thank you.
John Anderson, for everyone. What do you think is the #1 problem Asheville faces, and what do you propose to do about it?
In my personal view, the one issue that causes more pain, more suffering, more budgetary problems than any other is our large, growing drug culture. Most specifically, where it is most active in public housing and other poor and vulnerable neighborhoods. We have a tremendous number of children who are raised in proximity to violence, drug thugs, and crime, and they have to maladapt to survive in those environments, and then they go to public schools and affect life there. I think we should be ashamed for what we, and I mean we, the people at this table and you folks, allow to occur in this city off the radar, because we don't go into public housing in those vulnerable neighborhoods, but I promise you it's affecting everybody in this room and everybody in this city. Thank you.
For the past 20 years, Asheville has been trying to get I-26 bypass constructed. And what I'd like to know is, I'd like to see a show of hands of the members there that are running for election, whether or not they approve of the current state highway approved bypass of I-26. And if they don't, why?
I think my colleagues illustrate why it's taken 20 years and why it might take 20 more years. If we keep reinventing the wheel, going back to the drawing board, we'll keep stepping backward as the needs step forward and the financial pool dries up. I have no dog in the fight in terms of picking one of the selections. I do find it curious that the city of Asheville picked the most expensive choice, and the county and the chamber picked the second most expensive choice. I think both of them, at least the 4B, is twice as expensive as one of the other options. I don't think we're being realistic when you look at the reality of this country and the fact that we're living in a tremendous period of deficit expenditures that are mortgaging the futures of our children. I think we continue to talk about pie in the sky road plans that are not going to come to fruition. Thank you.
Many of us in this room live in the county. Our perpetual question to you would regard annexation. We have been well educated, pros and cons of annexation off and on over the many years. Do any of you have the courage to say no to annexation?
As the only person currently sitting on the table, I can tell you I find that courage every time that issue comes before us, and it takes courage. I believe it's consistently, with maybe an occasional exception, a 6-1 vote. I do not believe in forced annexation. I believe it's against our principles of government. There are arguments for it, and I recognize those arguments, but when I put them on my scale, I think we do more harm than good with forced annexation. So yes, I do have a courage button. I have it on that issue and many others. Thank you.
You know, I think we're going to go to the 1-minute closing now.
If I hold this up and ask you what it is, you would say, based on what you see, a blank card. I would say, no, it's a business card. Neither of us are wrong. We're looking at the same thing from a different angle of view. That's why I think it's important that we have someone on council with an independent perspective that includes conservative values, and that's what I'm about, traditional conservative values. I will be from now on. I won't stop whether I'm elected or not. Shared this last evening with the council, or with my colleagues. Harry Truman was given a hard time for giving others a hard time. And they called him Give 'em Hell Harry. And he said, I don't give them hell. I just tell them the truth and they think it's hell. I am about the truth, and I don't care who I make mad doing it. I'm not always right, but that's what I reach for, and I won't stop. If you bring me back, I will continue with enthusiasm. Thank you.
All right, great. I'd like to thank you all. I think we have 5 winners here for sure. So this great meeting is adjourned.